My friend told me this horrific story yesterday, and it has to be the scariest thing I ever heard. So I felt like sharing it to remind everyone to stay safe and cautious. This happened to a friend of our friend, not too long ago. So, this girl matched with a guy on Tinder and went on a couple of dates with him. On the first 2 dates, they went for coffee on walks outside. She really liked him, thought he was friendly, good looking, and thought they clicked. For the 3rd date, the guy suggested she should come over to his place to have some wine. She agreed because she felt safe and comfortable enough to do so at this point. So, the time comes, and she goes over to his place, and he pours her a glass of wine. Things seem to go well. They joke around and enjoy a nice talk. After a while, she starts feeling funny. Now, luckily, this girl had already been roofied once before, so she immediately recognized the effects once they kicked in. She was extremely clever in this situation and pretended she was feeling fine. She told him as cheerfully and energetically as possible that she was quickly going to use the toilet, as to seem like nothing was off. Once she was in the toilet, she locked the door and immediately called the police. She told them she was drugged, locked in the toilet, and that they needed to come get her out of there. Pretty soon after she passes out, she awakes by the police, but is still very drugged, so kind of slides in and out of consciousness. All she remembers is the police putting a bag over her head as they carry her out of there. She was saved. A few days later, she is asked to come down to the police station to give her declaration of events. After doing this, she asks whether she remembers the police putting a bag over her head correctly, or if it was imagined due to the drugs, or what was up with that. They tell her that they indeed put a bag over her head because they decided it would have been too traumatizing for her to see as they carried her out of there what he had prepared and set up for her in the living room. This sends shivers down my spine. The guy ended up in jail, and to this day she doesn't know what he had in mind for her. But it's clear this was a very messed up, incredibly scary situation that could have ended horribly. Please, 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 always let someone know when you plan on going on a Tinder date. Even if you feel safe, even if it's not your first date, always ask a friend to call and check up on you during and after, to let someone know you're safe. The girl escapes from Tinder date after being drugged. I went on a date with a Tinder girl in 2018 or 2019. I didn't even remember swiping right on her, so I don't know how we matched, and she wasn't especially attractive, but oh well, whatever. We did match, so what the hell? The whole date was a shit show from the start. She was very late, and after a while sent me directions to her house for me to go over there and wait under her window, instead of waiting for her at the initial meeting spot. So I did go there and stood outside of her house, just waiting for maybe 10 more minutes. Then when she finally did show up, she told me we only have 1 hour because she's going biking with her roommate later, or something like that. I thought, okay, so we don't even have much time for anything. But there's a park nearby. Let's go for a walk there. At one point, we sat on a bench in the park to talk. She didn't seem very interested, and I noticed she tried to avoid my touch when I casually touched her on the arm. So I felt neither of us is really attracted to the other. In fact, she seemed somewhat repulsed. Yeah, and that this wasn't gonna go anywhere. And so I was just happy that this date will be over in half an hour at that point. And then she asked me if I knew who Jordan Peterson was. I just met her. A factly said, I did, and her face lit up. Her whole demeanor changed, and out of fucking nowhere in a cheerful tone, she said, I think mixed-race children are hideous. What do you think? And suddenly she was very lively and interested in me and in what I have to say, apparently only because I knew who Jordan Peterson was. Meanwhile, I was horrified. I ended up walking her back home and telling her it was nice meeting you and never seeing you again. She seemed disappointed, but in the vibrant heart of New York City, where the pulse of neon lights synchronized with the rhythm of life, a tale unfolded that would challenge the very fabric of trust in the digital age. Jake, a 25-year-old software engineer, found himself navigating the intricate maze of online dating. In the vast expanse of virtual connections, Tinder beckoned him like a beacon of promise amidst the sea of solitude. Unbeknownst to Jake, every swipe carried the weight of untold stories and potential unravelings. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the skyline, casting the city in hues of orange and pink, Jake matched with Lily. Her profile, a mosaic of genuine smiles and dreams, painted in pixels, captivated him. Conversations flowed effortlessly, creating an illusion of intimacy that transcended the digital veil. Drawn into the charm of a stranger, Jake felt the pulse of excitement as their connection deepened. Days turned into weeks, and Lily gradually unfurled the tapestry of her life story. Tales of a tumultuous past, a fractured family, and a desperate yearning to escape the shackles of her troubled life spilled onto the digital canvas. Inherently empathetic and trusting, Jake felt a profound sense of responsibility to be the anchor that could rescue Lily from the despair she vividly painted. The plot thickened when Lily proposed a meeting, an escape from the city chaos to a rustic cabin nestled by a tranquil lake. The prospect of a face-to-face connection overwhelmed Jake, blinding him to the subtle red flags that fluttered on the periphery of his excitement. The weekend arrived, and Jake found himself standing before the cabin, its rustic charm belying the darkness that lurked within. Lily, her eyes betraying a haunting emptiness, greeted him. The air inside the cabin felt heavy, pregnant with unspoken tension that heightened the eerie atmosphere. As the night deepened, so did the shadows of deception. Lily's tales of hardship crumbled, revealing a well-rehearsed script designed to manipulate Jake's sympathies. The cabin, once a potential sanctuary, transformed into a stage for a meticulously orchestrated scam. Lily's true intentions unfolded like a chilling thriller. Alongside her accomplices, she preyed on Jake's generosity, extracting financial resources under the guise of escaping an abusive situation. The cabin, once a symbol of serenity, became a prison where Jake's trust was shattered and his vulnerability exploited. Panicked and betrayed, Jake grappled with the realization that the love he thought he found was nothing more than a mirage. The city lights, once sparkling with hope, now cast long shadows that mirrored the deceit that enveloped him. In the aftermath, Jake emerged scarred but wiser. The tale of his encounter became a cautionary narrative, a stark reminder that the pursuit of connection in the digital realm could lead down treacherous paths. The glow of digital affection, once enticing, now cast a haunted pallor over the city's skyline, a testament to the fading trust that lingered in the wake of a chilling Tinder scam. As Jake navigated the aftermath, he found solace in sharing his story. The digital age had ushered in unprecedented opportunities for connection, but it had also paved the way for sophisticated scams that preyed on vulnerability. Through his experience, Jake hoped to illuminate the shadows that danced in the corners of online dating, urging others to tread cautiously in the pursuit of love in the age of pixels and swipes. The echoes of his tale resonated through the city, a chilling reminder that behind every profile there could be more than meets the eye. In the evolving landscape of digital relationships, the line between genuine connection and calculated manipulation grew thinner, challenging the very essence of trust in the vast expanse of the virtual world. As Jake's words echoed through the digital corridors, they served as a beacon, a warning to those navigating the unpredictable waters of online dating, where the glow of a screen often concealed the shadows that lurked beneath the surface. In the days that followed, Jake found himself grappling with a mix of emotions: anger, betrayal, and a lingering sense of vulnerability. The scars left by Lily and her accomplices ran deep, not just in his psyche, but also in his perception of the digital world. The once prominent glow of city lights seemed dimmer, as if the vibrancy of the metropolis had been muted by the shadows of distrust. As Jake tried to make sense of his experience, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had become a character in a cautionary tale, a modern parable for the perils of seeking connection in the vast digital landscape. It wasn't just a story about deception. It was a narrative that delved into the intricacies of trust and vulnerability in an era where screens mediated human interactions. In an attempt to process the complex emotions swirling within him, Jake decided to chronicle his journey. From the initial swipe on Tinder to the haunting aftermath of the cabin encounter, he believed that sharing his story could serve as a cathartic release and a valuable lesson for others navigating the tumultuous waters of online dating. Jake opened a digital notebook, fingers tapping on the keys as he began to weave his experiences into words. He started with the excitement of that first match, the virtual courtship that felt like a whirlwind romance, and the gradual unfolding of Lily's troubled past. Each sentence he typed carried the weight of introspection, a careful examination of his own vulnerabilities that had been exploited in the pursuit of connection. As the narrative progressed, Jake delved into the pivotal moment when Lily proposed the weekend getaway to the cabin. The rustic charm that initially seemed inviting now served as a stark contrast to the dark intentions lurking beneath the surface. Jake described the palpable tension in the air, the discomfort that replaced the anticipation, and the gradual realization that he had walked into a carefully orchestrated trap. The details spilled onto the digital pages like a confessional, each keystroke a cathartic release of the emotions that had been bottled up within him. Jake explored the aftermath, the shock of betrayal, the process of piecing together the truth, and the difficult journey of coming to terms with the fact that his quest for love had been manipulated. As the word count climbed, Jake found himself recounting not just his personal journey, but also reflecting on the broader implications of online dating in the 21st century. He touched upon the allure of digital connections, the thin line between authenticity and deception, and the evolving dynamics of trust in an era dominated by screens. The narrative expanded to include the perspectives of others who had faced similar ordeals. Jake sought out individuals who had fallen victim to online scams, creating a mosaic of experiences that highlighted the systemic challenges within the digital dating landscape. Interviews, anecdotes, and shared traumas painted a comprehensive picture of the pitfalls that awaited the unsuspecting in the virtual realm. In his exploration, Jake also delved into the psychology behind scams, seeking to understand the motives of those who manipulated emotions for financial gain. He interviewed experts in cybersecurity, psychology, and digital ethics, piecing together insights that shed light on the intricate dance between vulnerability and deception in the online dating world. As the narrative expanded, so did Jake's realization that his story wasn't just a personal account, but a narrative that resonated with a broader audience. Messages began pouring in, from individuals expressing gratitude for shedding light on the dangers of online dating, to experts offering insights and perspectives on the evolving landscape of digital relationships. Jake decided to turn his crop.